being the insane competitor that you are, how does that play out in being a mother?
I have got to say that like maternal instinct took over competitiveness for me to the point where I feel like I was probably softer on my kids than I should have been.
Wow.
Because it was like, it's like different veins for me. It was like, you're playing a sport, you're at war, you're raising your kids, you're like nurturing them.
Welcome to the Deep End Podcast with Dave and Jen. Today's episode is with a special friend of mine, Michelle Crawford. Come listen to what it looks like to live life competitively in every facet. Let's dive in. All right, back on the deep end. Here we go. We got Michelle Crawford.
First lady of movement. Do people call you that?
Oh my gosh.
I hope not.
I know. I even
literally,
feel weird saying it out loud now that I said it.
I've never heard first lady of movement. But Michelle probably just cringed.
Ladies about my least favorite word. Yeah.
Oh,
it just
yeah,
to me
I don't really
seems
love
like
it either.
It is.
You're like 98 years old. Yeah, I know.
And I call all the women in the gym ladies. All right, ladies. And
Yeah.
You
Michelle
do?
hates it. Yeah.
Women.
Perfectly
But
fine.
yeah, women is more preferable to that maybe.
But first lady, how'd you come up with that?
I don't know. Honestly, like when I was thinking about us interviewing you, that was the first thing that I thought of to say.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
This is gonna go great.
Awkward. Yeah. But I mean, for real though, I mean, you are. That's who you. I mean, you're. For those of you that do not know, she is married to Casey.
I guess that's true.
So-
yeah.
That is
Who
true.
is Michelle?
Yeah.
She's
many
so much
people
more
might
than
know.
that.
Yes.
Just married to Casey. That's probably already fired her up through the roof right now. If you know Michelle, that has just lit her
It's
up.
just one thing about you.
Yeah.
One
Correct.
thing about you.
Correct.
Yeah.
Well,
There's a lot of
Okay.
things.
Well, then let's ask you this. Then, if you were to describe yourself, who is Michelle Crawford?
Oh,
How do
That's a
you
really
how do you
good
describe
question.
yourself?
how do I describe myself? Okay. I mean, I'm a mom. I'm Casey's wife. I'm a CrossFit gym owner. I'm a field hockey coach, tennis player,
Just a lot of
dog
things.
lover, plant grower,
That's true.
sister.
Goat lover.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Plant lover is insane.
You love plants? You keep them all alive?
I
and
try.
everything?
I'm pretty good at it. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Jungle
Some is
in front of
greenish.
her house.
Yeah. I
Jungle.
love plants.
Oh my gosh.
It's almost too much.
That's really cool.
You get lost in them.
Do you have like vegetables or just? Oh wow.
I have a little greenhouse and some flower beds, and I have a giant front porch, so I
Okay.
just kind of go crazy.
Yeah.
That's what Dave's talking about. He comes over and he's like, "There's just too many.
go
There's
through all.
100%.
too many plants." Yeah, it's like the one thing I do that I'm really relaxed about, and I'm
Like
not like
therapy.
competing. I'm not trying to like enter
Okay,
my
but you have a
tomatoes.
million plants.
Like,
so
I
you
want
are
it to be
competing.
awesome.
Yeah, you're competing
But
still.
I'm not like, look at my tomato, I want to win the
Yeah.
like 4-H thing. I kind of, it's like the only thing I do that relaxes me.
Huh.
So
Interesting. I love that.
And,
I
like,
didn't know that.
I bet like feeding your goats is relaxing.
yeah, like that's the whole like the gardening, like outside, outdoorsy part of me.
Wait, don't y'all have a donkey?
We did. That was not relaxing because it was very aggressive.
No.
We thought we were getting a small female.
Okay.
We got long story short, we got it on Christmas Eve after when my girls were
fun.
still young and believed in Santa.
Yeah.
And it was had to do one more like stint in the Christmas pageant play. He was like in the manger scene.
Oh my
And
god.
then they brought him to the house like on Christmas Eve day, and we're trying to keep the girls upstairs and not let them see. And this massive animal comes out of the truck, and Casey's like, "That is not a girl." And the guy's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, yes, it is." And we're like, "I don't know that much about animals,
Yeah.
but I'm pretty sure that's a boy." So we had him like during COVID, but
Okay.
he was very aggressive to our goats and chickens
Oh
And
my
everything
God.
else.
and all little children.
I was gonna say
like,
everything
Like
else.
biting, kicking,
like kicking, like all the noises.
You know what donkeys are for, though, right? Like they're there to protect the herd. Like
flock.
they
I
the
didn't-
flock.
I
They
didn't know
protect
that.
the cows. Like if a coyote or wolf comes around, they just snap its neck. Yeah, look it up. There's pictures of them.
But
donkeys
our
are just,
donkey
like, holding
would
a coyote
help
in
our
the mouth.
chickens escape. So we had 12 chickens, and they would climb up his back, stand on his back, and like jump over the fence because they couldn't fly.
He was a problem.
So he was a problem. So he is back with his original
Okay.
farmer
So
owner.
no more donkeys.
No more donkeys.
Just the
Just
goats,
and chickens, dogs.
Yeah, but the chickens are killed, didn't they?
The chickens have subsequently passed away. Yes.
creatures, predators out there.
It's tough.
It's
a
wild.
Tough life.
And Nat
Yeah.
Geo out there on the compound. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
So yeah,
That's amazing.
there's competition in all Michelle's life.
Yeah.
What would you say is the weirdest thing you've competed in?
Gosh, the weirdest.
I don't know.
Got to be some weird CrossFit event that we've done, don't you think?
That's true. There are some really weird CrossFit events out there.
I mean, we were talking about it the other day in our first event in the CrossFit Games when we competed as a team. We were in the Pacific Ocean with 6 of us on a surfboard
yeah, rafting.
raft, like in shark-ish waters with like
No,
all
ish.
these,
There's definitely sharks there.
all these teams from all over the world, and there's no rules, and people are essentially trying to drown each other. And
no,
we're like,
Survivor.
yeah, I mean,
yeah.
and yeah,
we crushed that event.
we did.
We actually did.
We did.
It was our best event of all the CrossFit Games. The swim event,
Yeah.
which there was only one person on our team at that time that actually could claim themselves as a swimmer, and the rest were not.
Yeah.
But we
And
just,
y'all weren't intimidated by like the circumstances around.
I think we were too dumb.
I was just gonna
be
say
like,
that.
we were like, let's go.
Yeah.
I mean,
We
now
didn't
that
know.
I think about it, I'm like, what was I doing? Like,
Yeah.
why did I do that? But no, in the moment, you're just like, okay, they said we need to jump in this water and go around this buoy and knock everybody out and carry your raft and run and blah, blah, blah. And you in a bathing suit that doesn't really fit you very well.
Right.
You know, so you're just,
bathing suit.
and the whole
Yikes.
time her sister just sat on top of the raft.
she was getting tan, getting suntan.
So no help from
Lorraine?
her. Yeah.
She's like kicking like leisurely, and we're all like in war. And yeah.
That's hilarious.
It was actually a pretty aggressive event. That was the most aggressive event we
very
were part of. Like, where you actually had to physically like move your way through. We were just dunking people.
Oh my gosh.
But I was thinking more like you probably have like competed in like pencil sharpening competitions, you know? Like,
I mean, I am really the most competitive human being I know by a landslide.
it's true.
But I
Have you
also love
always
it.
been that way, like even as a kid?
I am so chill and don't care about winning
Yeah.
now compared to how I was as like a 5-year-old.
No.
But still, the most competitive.
Yes.
If she's gonna go ahead and like compare herself to maybe when she was.
Wow.
Like if somebody from my elementary school gym class
Yeah.
could phone into this interview, they would be like, "Yep, psychotic." I mean,
No.
I would cry in the mornings before school because I was so stressed out. This is like second grade, and I distinctly remember this over like, we have to win the floor hockey championship in gym, and this girl is not doing what she needs to do, mom, and I don't
She's
even
not
know,
pulling
like,
her weight.
Correct.
Yeah.
I mean,
She's
Wow.
that's still stuck with her though, because we'd be in like competitions, CrossFit competitions, and a lot of times her and I would get part. Like you're in teams
Yeah.
at these CrossFit competitions, and some of these events you'd have like synchronized workouts. A lot of times her and I would get like partnered together, and I swear it's like we're going to do like her best movements, like thrusters and running. I'm like, there's nobody faster than her running. There's nobody faster than her thrusters.
Yeah.
And she's like puking and crying in the corner. I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, I'm so nervous. I'm like, there's nobody out there better than you at this. Why are you nervous right now? I'm like,
Because you don't want to lose? That's
Yeah.
why you're
because I would
nervous?
rather die than lose.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like the best and worst thing
Yeah.
about me, I think. But
That's okay. So how did you get into CrossFit? How did that all start?
So I was practicing law for a few years before I had Katie, my first daughter. But while I was doing that job, my major focus was not on my law work, but I was also coaching, like teaching like athletic conditioning and boot camp and all this time of classes in the mornings before work at the YMCA. And I loved that, you know, and then I'd have to like drag myself into my like real job.
Yeah.
And I met this guy in one of my YMCA classes who was way into CrossFit, and he's like, "You will love this. It's right up your alley. You should go to this certification." And I knew nothing about CrossFit at all. And this is when CrossFit was very like old days, like
Yeah.
everyone was like
Grungy.
in these gross kind of grungy boxes, and there was all these dogs
If
walking
you weren't
around.
bleeding, you
like
didn't do the workout right.
it was just super
Yeah.
grungy.
You had to like
Yeah.
lose a tooth in every
Yeah.
workout. You know.
And
Nah,
so
it
I
wasn't good.
I remember I showed
It
up
really
at this
was.
like, yeah, he's right, at this certification with like my little Vera Bradley like diaper bag because Katie was a baby. And it was like the first time I left Katie with Casey for like the day. I was like, okay, I'm going to this like thing,
Yeah.
and he's like, ah. And I just got certified and kind of really liked it. And I was like,
Okay.
okay, this could be cool, but how can this be like more mainstream, because I'm a mom with a little girl and I want to have other
Right.
children, and all my friends have kids, and we can't go to these like gross boxes.
Yeah.
You know. So kind of started that at like our local YMCA where I
Okay.
already worked. And then actually met Dave at a competition. That
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
He won like the guy.
Which one was that one? Was that
It was
that
at,
Bob Weeks
yes,
was
it was
running?
Bob Weeks.
Fit for
Fit for Life or Fit?
something
No,
like
what
that.
was it
Fit for
called?
the Day or
Fit
something
for
like
Fit
that.
for the Day.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
He won. He was like 17 probably. No, he was like in college. He was definitely in college.
I was young 20s.
He was very young.
maybe like 22.
He had all this long hair. He
What?
yeah.
Long
Oh, wow. I
hair.
forgot about that. Yeah, I had really long hair.
Weird.
He won like the guy division, and I won the. And you got $1,000 for.
Oh,
winning
that
this
was when
competition.
competitions actually meant something.
I mean,
now you get like a
$1,000.
granola bar
Yeah.
and a bag of protein.
And like bacon. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
yeah.
And
That's
then his
awesome.
like coach at the time, his CrossFit coach, came up to me at the competition and was like, "Oh, you're pretty good. You should like train. What's your training regimen?" I'm like,
Yeah.
"In my garage with like my kids
Yeah.
watching." So then I started like going up to train at the same gym that Dave trained at.
Okay.
So we got to be friends and teammates, and then the rest is history.
That's just
Oh,
history.
look at
We
that.
just decided to start a CrossFit gym
Yeah,
a long time ago.
And it's gone pretty well, I think.
it's gone so much better than I could have ever thought. Yes, it's such a huge blessing in my life. for
Yeah, I love that. And now your gym is at Movement.
Mm-hmm.
sure.
Correct.
Yes.
So it's open to Movement employees, but
Oh, yeah.
also other people.
Bring them on.
Everybody.
Correct, yes.
Everybody's welcome.
We like
Yeah.
to say, like, we do provide health and wellness for the movement community, and then obviously for our other community of members who have, some of us have been with us since day one,
Yeah.
opened the doors in, 2013.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's
we
really
got a
cool.
strong group of people that have been with us for a long time, done a lot of life. I was actually talking to somebody
that's neat.
about this the other day at the gym, and I was like, I remember when you literally were walking in the gym, and she has 4 daughters. I was like, you literally had little ducklings behind you. One, you have carrying because they were so young, and I was like, and to think that some of those girls are now in college, about to graduate college, could potentially have kids, and you're going to be a grandma. I'm like, I've known you for so long that you might end
Wow.
up being a grandma
Yeah.
here soon. It's
That's
crazy.
so cool,
Yeah, That's
though.
been fun.
People stick with it together.
Yeah. But we would like to see more movement people involved. Jen.
Yeah.
Jen.
Sounds like a great idea.
Talk to us about that though, Jen.
No, this is not about me.
Since we both have you here, I feel like
This is an ambush.
what? This is
Was
not
this
ambush.
planned?
Not at all.
No, we
Actually,
plan
not
we
at
plan
all.
nothing ever.
We don't plan anything
Actually, that
either.
is so true. We
That's the way
are
to do
the
it, though.
worst at planning stuff.
We plan not to plan. Yeah. We're type A non-planners, I feel like. Which is sort of an oxymoron, but
It is an oxymoron.
Yeah.
we operate well on the fly.
But going back to what I was just thinking on here.
Yeah.
What would you say to us? Now you have both of Michelle and I here.
I'm scared.
On how to maybe be, I don't know what you call it, inviting, welcoming, get the presence out a little more where the people can come in and enjoy the facilities and exercise. What would you encourage us to do?
Speaking for me personally, I
Okay.
think
Okay.
sometimes it can feel a little intimidating because there's a lot of very fit and strong people. So
That's
I think
what Jen-
somebody.
That's what Jen's
that's what
typically
it
are
I
Try
just
it.
told her I'd rather die than lose. So I mean, probably
But also,
tone that down a little bit.
I don't think I fit in.
but also that's what
I'm
we're
weird.
trying to create at gyms
weird
is fit
on
and
the
strong
opposite
people. You know that,
Yeah.
right? That's like the thing.
Right, but I'm just saying this is how I feel. And it's also too, I think it's tough because we all sort of know each other. So like you don't really want to look like an idiot in front of people that you have to like see every day too.
Wow.
This is my mindset.
Okay.
But I mean, and I know you guys do like a class that's a little bit easier, right? Like beginners, even that feels like too intimidating for me. So
You
I
haven't
don't
yet.
know what like
But
a
you
step.
haven't-
I haven't even seen it.
You haven't even seen
or,
it. Yeah,
Right,
I try to encourage her to go see it. She hasn't even seen
Oh,
the
that's
class.
I'm
I
just
teach
gonna
that
come
class. You
see.
come in,
Yeah,
it's a
I'll
great
just, like,
group of
watch.
people.
Yeah, they've been
and
crushing
they're
it.
awesome. Yeah,
Super proud of that group.
I love
Yeah.
that group. They're
So
my fave.
committed.
I'm like a step below that group.
No, you're not.
I feel like in my
Yeah.
okay. But I have started playing pickleball and I'm actually
that's
really
true.
good.
I love
so this
that.
is a step. This is a big step for me. Although I did tear my calf muscle and I couldn't walk for 2 days.
Slight strain.
I don't know. Something weird happened. Like
Slight
it was
strain.
very painful.
Yeah, just a little strain.
Anyways,
Okay.
I'll come watch and just
So-
like see how it goes.
Shell, being the insane competitor that you are, how does that play out in being a mother?
Oh, that's a good
Oh.
question. So if I'm playing something with my children, I mean, now they're both bigger and taller than me, so I feel like it's completely fair game. But when they were little, I have got to say that like maternal instinct took over competitiveness for me to the point where I feel like I was probably softer on my kids than I should have been.
Wow.
Because it was like, it's like different veins for me. It was like, you're playing a sport, you're at war, you're raising your kids, you're like nurturing them. So
What
totally
about-
different thing for me.
Yeah.
What about what I was kind of thinking on was like the competition with other mothers? Is there that?
That's funny. I don't feel that at all. I know a lot of moms do feel that way, and obviously my kids are almost 20 and 15, so I don't have babies. But when my kids were little, definitely moms like get into that. But I didn't feel that at all. I was like doing my own thing,
Yeah.
and sort of just like I just cared about my two. So
Yeah.
you can do the best lemonade stand over there with your kid. It doesn't matter to me.
But your lemonade stand was going to be better.
I knew mine would be better, so it's fine.
No question.
Your lemonade stand is definitely going to be better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For
Well, so, but you're a mother who does a lot. Like you do a lot. You have the gym. Now you have a field hockey club, and you're also helping out with the high school team in field hockey, and then you have a growing tennis career.
Yes.
Oh,
I
nice.
mean, I'm trying to think all the stuff you do. You do a lot. How do you juggle all that with being a mother? I think because I think you do it well.
Oh, thank you. I think that I'm lucky to have a lot of energy, and I absolutely like thrive off of being super busy. So I don't do well with like not the Casey's always like, do you have 7 seconds open in your calendar? I'm like, no, I don't. So I'm always like so I really, that like energizes me, that excites me. And honestly, because from, the day, I guess Josie, our youngest, was 3 years old when we opened Rising, I had Dave, who was such a great partner, so that I was able, when my kids were young, and I've told him this many times, and I'm super grateful for it, to have a job that I loved and believed in, but I was able to be at everything for my kids because I had a person I worked with that I could trust to the nth degree, who did a great job. So him and us being different, us being different ages and different stages of life. When we opened the gym, he was not even married to Jenna yet. They were dating. They were early 20s. My kids were young. I was mid 30s. So we have different kind of like. It worked out. And now his kids are kind of the age my kids were when we started. And it's been such a huge blessing for me to be able to do a job that I love and find purpose in and believe in, and try to do the my best of my ability. But my primary, responsibility and role was to be present for my kids.
Yeah.
And I was really able to do that with pretty minimal stress on my own marriage. Obviously, my husband has a big job. So it's just really been like a great blessing to have a partner that you can count on and that you just do well. And I'm not a big group project person. I
can see that.
Not function great with a lot of other people's opinions, and I'm a like do it myself person. So the fact that we've been able to work together so long, and we're very different people in a lot of ways.
I don't know if I fought with. I mean, I had some good fights growing up, but I think we fought pretty hard. We fought tooth and nail for sure.
Wow.
Yeah.
For sure.
And you're still friends.
We had some seasons to grow through.
COVID was rough for us.
Man,
rough.
that was
We were
really
like
tough.
opposite ends of the spectrum.
Really?
Yeah, it was tough. It was really tough.
How did you?
They basically set up
They
an intervention with us.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah. We had an intervention.
We had an intervention.
We've been through it.
Straight up, we had an
Yeah,
intervention. It was hilarious.
through
We were
it,
like,
yeah.
"What are we getting called to?" I don't care. Getting called to. And I was like, "Oh, they're sitting us down. This is really weird."
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
I was like, can you take your unvaccinated self over there?
I was wondering when it was.
So there
my
you go.
gosh.
That's the divisions.
Yeah.
But,
Okay.
Yeah, we made it through.
did.
That was definitely
Look how far you've come.
Oh, yeah.
Too. That's so great.
many fights we've had.
I think we had a lot of built up, trust and loyalty and time spent together. And, I consider him and Jenna family prior to, having some disagreements about that. And so that really helped us work through it.
figure it out.
Yeah, for sure.
Wow.
But I will say this. I will say that something to say about that is like we never lost communication in a sense. I think one of the things that we did was we constantly were just like, all right, like let's just talk. Let's just figure this out. It wasn't like a because I think sometimes people can get in those, which was a huge disagreement. I mean, it was like the world was doing
the whole world.
It wasn't like this is just between Dave and Shell. This was like a world dispute that people were having, and it was like, okay, we know we got to get through this, and so we just got to keep talking about it.
But it took family and friends being like, we're getting through this together, sitting you down.
Yeah,
to,
I wonder what was
force
Casey
you.
saying to you, because like Jenna was basically being like, Dave, quit being an asshole. I'm sorry. Quit being a jerk.
Yes, Jenna. I love her. Well, Casey was sort of more maybe on your side in terms of your thought pattern.
So Jenna was on her side.
Yeah.
She was like, just
Oh
what
my
are
word,
you doing?
how funny.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny.
And Casey thinks the world of Dave as well. And
Sure.
for me, I know that like even though we were extremely disagreeing, and we had to make it wasn't just fundamentally like I think A and you think B, but we as partners at the gym had to make decisions about how to move forward. And I mean, it's silly now to look back, but at the time, do we open up? What do we do?
Yeah.
Do we have masks? Are we 6 feet apart? Blah blah, all this stuff. And make some real decisions when we did not really know. There's a lot of unknowns. But I always knew, even though I was frustrated and we were disagreeing on stuff, there was just this underlying, like at least in my mind, maybe not with him, like it's going to be okay. Like we're going to get through it. We have too strong of a relationship and a trust and a loyalty with each other, and we've built too big of a thing to let this like completely ruin it. But it's going to probably hurt a little bit to go through.
I think some people miss this, because we ran a business together, but there was more to it. I think what some people encouraged me and what's helped me is like looking at the individual and looking at like the best in them and knowing that like they're coming from what they think is the best, and so it allows you to be able to honor that person, listen to them, and try to get through it. And you might not come to the same resolution because we still differ, on a lot of things.
COVID's going around again, so we need to figure it out.
But I think it's like looking at the individual who you're having this dispute with and realizing like there is an innate good in them that the Lord put in them, and trusting, okay, you know what, if all else fails, I'm going to trust in that individual. And that's what I think allows, I think we both kind of have that for each other in that sense. But because I say all that to say like, I don't know, we've seen, let's call it what it is. We've seen fractures here at Movement that have not ended well. And, there's obviously a lot that goes behind the scenes that people don't know about. But at the end of the day, it's seeing the good in people and trusting that that's what's going to come out. So I don't know. It's interesting. You got to battle.
Yeah.
Battle through it.
Yeah.
So.
And I'll say too, there is something to be said about, and obviously both of us are lifelong athletes, but there's something to be said about being on a team with someone and like battling through very tough, workouts, competitions for years.
Sure.
So you forge a relationship that is tight, and there is
bond.
trust there. And again, like you disagree and whatever, but there is just something to be said about, I think there's that lesson of being on a sports team and all of the things that you learn other than winning.
Yeah.
We've lost a lot together.
Yeah,
too.
we've lost.
Oh, really?
Look down the row at some
We've
chick
gotten
from
our
Iceland
butts
that
destroyed.
can lift more than Dave. And you're
One-armed
like,
South African guy that smoked us in a race.
we've been humbled so hard.
Wow.
Yeah, for sure.
I wouldn't have expected
Dave is
that.
definitely, everyone is more cool-headed than me. But on our team of 6, he was always, over the years, definitely the most cool-headed player. But one time we were just
Till I lost it.
getting destroyed by this sled. We didn't have the strongest team. We were not the biggest people.
Yeah.
And
I like to win too.
And he definitely likes to win. And certain teams just had some just massive humans. I mean, Casey size, tall, and giant. I mean, just
Huge.
big.
Yeah.
And so we're like pushing this sled, and we are not doing well at all. And there's frustration, and you're tired, and it's the last day, and blah, blah, blah. And all of a sudden I look up from like this very, effort and futility of not being able to push the sled. And Dave just takes these water bottles that were like on the sideline, like that were provided for the teams, and just launches them. And I was like, okay. Let's wrap this up.
We were
We are done.
the competition was still going on. The heat we were in was still going,
Yes.
and I was so mad that we were losing that bad that I just kicked these water balls across this football field and was like, I'm out of here. I'm
I was
done.
like, okay, wrap it up.
I think it was close to being finished.
I was
yeah.
like, warm up the bus. We are out.
And then the judge is like, hey, you guys got to get your sled back. I'm like, we just tried for 30 minutes, dude. Get out of here. We lost
humbling.
that
It's
time.
humbling. It's humbling.
So, but we have been through a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. I mean,
Yeah.
Michelle's
a lot
made
of
us
sweat. Yeah.
bleed.
He rescued my sister, who is near and dear to me.
Yes.
From a lake one time, from a training
No
session
way.
gone bad.
That's
I mean,
bad.
there's a lot of
Bad
history
training
there.
session. She was
Oh my
drowning.
No way.
Yeah.
We
I
don't
was
really
like,
know that she's
why?
drowning. She's dramatic, but
Oh.
When I got a hold of her, she was in full drowning panic mode, and I was like, okay. Fortunately, I took a lifeguarding course in college, and I was
Wow.
like, I've got it. Just kicked in, but yeah, she was drowning that day for sure.
Oh my gosh, that's
Yeah.
terrifying.
It was honestly my fault too. I made a really tough workout. I made a workout that caused us. We threw.
Of course you did.
We firemen's carried somebody to the front of the neighborhood. It was like a mile away, and then you had to go back. And then when you got back, you had to swim. But then when you got back on the beach, you had to do like a bunch of kettlebell exercises. I'm on the beach doing my kettlebell exercises. Rain and Shell are still out there swimming, and I just hear this panic ensuing, like going on. I'm like, what is going? Just figure it out. Like, what are you doing? Like, we are this close from like we go to the competition in a week. We're going to like California in a week. Like, figure it out. I'm like,
Yeah.
she's not figuring that out there.
Oh.
I'm like, I think
bless
she's
her
gonna
heart.
drown out there. Yeah.
Oh.
She worked it out. We worked it
Yeah.
out.
You just jumped right in.
Yeah.
Saved her.
No, it was just I didn't want to see anybody drown.
Well, yeah, that's not a good look.
But it's actually not hard to drown.
Oh, okay. I've never tried to drown, so I don't know
He
how
has.
that is. Oh, you have? That's right. Oh
I've
my
never
gosh.
tried to drown, but
Oh my God.
but
You've
I have experienced
experienced
it.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. So, which was funny. I don't know if you know this. I tell this story, and part of that story, I tell this one part where you and I had texted on Friday. So I drowned on Saturday.
okay.
On a Friday in the afternoon, you texted me and said, hey, did you see so-and-so passed away? And it was an acquaintance of ours we'd known. It was through the CrossFit world.
Okay.
And you said, that's one of my biggest fears because he died of some weird medical condition.
Oh wow, I don't
Yeah.
remember who
and,
it is.
And I texted you and I said, are you kidding me? I can't wait to die. And then you're like, yeah, no, you're an idiot. You know, you're dumb. And I was like, I probably should have said I can't wait to meet Jesus. And that was the last text that you and I had.
Oh, gosh.
And then
Oh, my
that was at
word.
4:00 on a Friday, and then it was Saturday when that incident happened.
Foreshadowing.
But then Sunday morning, you were like, "Are you serious?" And I was like, I didn't want to tell you. I was like, I didn't know how to tell you that one. You know? So
Wow.
You're like, "Are you trying to die on me?" I'm like, "I'm not
Oh
trying
my
to."
gosh, yeah.
Yeah.
See,
Not
we've been through so
yet.
much, so
Yeah.
that, like,
Just a normal exchange.
disagreement on
the
masks
weekend.
is not going to break us.
Yeah. However, I was pissed about that whole last thing.
Same.
Okay, well, let's not get into that. Yeah, let's move on.
Why not? I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
I do have a question for you. Another thing that I wanted to ask you was, and I don't know why I want to ask you this.
Okay.
But is there something in your life, or is there like something that you were praying for, wanting to happen, maybe didn't happen, experienced some sort of disappointment? And if so, how did you work through that?
Oh, wow. Okay. Yes, for sure. I mean, I can think of a lot of things, but by far the biggest thing is my mom passed away in 2008. Katie, my oldest, was like a year and a half old. Josie, she never met Josie. She had cancer, and it was a very quick. She was super healthy, vibrant, 57 years old. Felt a literal pain in her shoulder. Thought it was from like exercise because she was so cute, and she was doing like this little, like tiny little bit. My parents did not exercise
I didn't
at
know
all.
that either.
And
Okay.
she, long story short, it ended up being a tumor. It was inoperable. She had a very quick, very difficult end to her life. And so obviously during that time period, and that is when Casey was starting movement. We had a newborn baby. A lot was going on. And so many prayers of please save her,
Yeah.
please,
Heal
she was in a lot
her.
of pain. I was
Yeah.
driving up and back from Charlotte to New Jersey where my parents still lived with a baby, just a lot was going on. And, you know, she passed away. And so obviously this is not a unique thing. Anyone probably that loses a loved one feels these unanswered prayers, this, you know, honest, earnest, on your knees, weeping at someone's bedside, praying, begging. Well, you know, she's such a good person. She's so young. She just had my sister had just had her daughter, like babies. There was this new kind of generations coming in. My mom was the best grandmother to Katie. It was probably the closest my relationship with my mom had ever been. We were close growing up, but she was not an athlete. And so I was such a tough kid for her because she's like, oh my God, like get it together and relax, you know? And so I was like a challenging child for her. But as I was becoming an adult, and certainly as I became a mom, my relationship with her was so amazing. And so I am grateful that she did get to meet Katie and have that year and a half. But anyway, it was so horrible and so traumatic. And, you know, she did pass away. And during that time, my dad also was diagnosed with cancer. And I also had a miscarriage. It was just a tough, 6 month to 9 month period. And so lots of prayers went unanswered. And, you know, it's just normal to feel angry with God. And, you know, but then you kind of have this okay, I'm not the only person who has experienced, you know, tragedy and loss and sadness. And, you know, it took some time to just sort of be like, okay, I still to this day, it's been a long time. It's, you know, can't really do the math. It's been 17 years. I don't really know why, you know, what the reason is for. And people say, oh, things happen for a reason and God has a plan and all of that stuff that you hear. And I still don't know why, you know, why that happened or what the good that came out of that necessarily. So it takes a long time to recover from that and your relationship with God to recover from that. But it certainly has. And I think just knowing I'm not special. This is not some tragic thing that happened to me and my family and no one else has ever experienced this kind of thing. And it's just a little bit of well, I just have to say I don't understand everything about the way the Lord works. And I'm just one little very, you know, sinful person on earth trying to get through. And so I don't understand, but I'm going to have faith that someday I will see her again and I will understand all of that. So I hope that answered your question, but.
It did. Wow. I mean, obviously I relate to a lot of what you said because I lost my mom too to cancer. And I think it's interesting too because it's been a longer time for you. It's been also a long time for me. It's I think coming up on 7 years, which is crazy to even say that.
I feel like that's just raw for you still.
Sometimes it feels like it was yesterday. Sometimes it's even hard to remember what it was like when she was here, which is so crazy to say that out loud. But I will say just the anger, the disappointment, and you mentioned it changes your relationship with God. It changes how you talk to him, how you relate to him. And I think I'm still in that. I'm coming out of the anger part of it, but I'm kind of the same as you of I think there's just some things we may not have answers to until we get to heaven and get to ask him
for sure.
Why, and you know, just why isn't she here experiencing this with us,
right?
Or, you know, and I don't know, it's hard to accept not an answer.
Very hard
sometimes,
and it's
at
hard
least for me.
Yeah. Oh, it's very hard for me, and it's also very hard for other people in my family that aren't believers. So then I don't have an answer for them. They're you pray and God let her die, and why, and I don't have a response, a good answer to explain at all. So it's tough. It's not the easiest situation.
No.
So you both said it changed your relationship or how you interact with God. How would you guys describe that change? How would you describe that change?
I think for me, I was definitely, I don't know if I would say I was angry with God. I just felt abandoned maybe a little bit. And I do remember during that time when my mom passed away, a lot of people in church were being it was God's plan, which is the worst thing.
It's not comforting.
You can say to someone. Yeah. It's not comforting. Yeah. And my gut emotion is right to anger, and I would literally lash right back at them and be really? That's awesome of you to say. Thanks for being so understanding and empathetic. And so I think a little bit of an abandonment, but then I can't remember exactly when. So my mom passed away in 2008. Josie, my younger daughter, was born in 2010, and we had a lot of trouble getting pregnant with her and had to do fertility. And so then you're right back in that like begging and praying phase again for a different reason. And this prayer was answered. And in a big way, because there was a lot of medical and doctors saying, you know, you can't get pregnant, blah, 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 blah. This is never going to happen. You have to adopt. And I was like, I already have a biological child, you know, all this stuff. And so I felt, for me at least, Josie looks exactly like my mom.
No, she doesn't.
Josie and Katie, my older daughter, do not look alike at all.
Yeah, they are.
They're very different
different.
coloring. They just look very different. And personalities, everything. And Josie looks like an exact replica of my mom's baby picture.
How sweet.
So, you know, you obviously cultivate stories to make yourself feel better, but she's kind of like a little miracle baby.
Yeah.
Like, doctor said that I was not going to be able to have her without doing extra fertility and stuff. And she looks just like my mom. And so you kind of almost feel like, for me at least, it was this like, oh, you're so grateful, and you're like, I have no control over this. Like, I can't make this happen. I can't work hard for this. I can't study hard, run hard. And so you just feel grateful that maybe like God came through for you, or it changes. So it kind of shifted
like
it back
gift,
for me
a gift.
toward gratefulness, and less anger and feeling like abandoned, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't think people. I don't think many people know this about you, Shell, but you do have a very deep relationship with the Lord. How would you describe your relationship with the Lord?
Yeah, I would describe it as so different than a lot of the people I live amongst, because we do live in the South, like culturally different.
Yeah.
I've told Dave this before. So I grew up in a Catholic family, but kind of like Christmas and Easter Catholic.
Okay.
My mom was deeply religious. My mom was born in Cuba, so kind of a stereotypical Hispanic, almost superstitious. Like she would go to church every morning before she was a teacher, before school, and pray and genuflect and do that kind of stuff. But we didn't go to church, and my dad is not a believer. But my family life growing up was awesome. And I've said this to Casey so many times. I feel like you hear stories of people that did not grow up Christ followers or Christ believers, and it's like, oh, and I then found Jesus as a later age, and like my life got better.
Sure.
And for me, like that's not true, but it also always felt like, no, my family was great. My parents were great people, very moral, very whatever, but we just didn't culturally go to church. But from a very young age, I always felt this like absolute presence of like God.
Wow.
I couldn't tell you a Bible verse. I could, like we grew up Catholic. You don't read the Bible.
Right.
Like it is, and it was a lot of like traditional Catholic, like guilt and confess your sins to the priest during, like that kind of stuff, and very like rote prayer and communion and confession and all that kind of stuff. But always, always, always felt this like very strong, like conscience and presence of God.
Wow.
So wait, what was the rest of your question?
That's it. I just asked you how you would describe your belief and relationship with God. Yeah.
And I think that it has, honestly, me and Casey, and sort of like moving to the South, being in a different cultural situation, being around different types of people, just even being introduced to the concept of evangelical Christianity, has changed my understanding of like grace and works. And that was like the hardest thing. It still is hard for me. I'm almost 50 years old, and it's just the hardest thing for me to wrap my mind around, that like I don't have to like earn it, or that if I'm just bad one day, or I think bad things, or I do bad things, that you can fall out of favor. And this tangible concept of grace, and what that really means, and what it means, that what Jesus did on the cross. I get it, and I can articulate it to people, and it makes sense to me now, but it took a really long time to kind of unlearn,
Sure.
no, you have to be a good person to earn salvation. So that like is such a basic thing for so
Yeah.
many people.
Yeah.
But it took me, I was a little slow on the uptake on that one.
Yeah, but I think it's interesting. It really highlights the words that I got for you as I was praying this morning. Asking the Lord, kind of like, hey, how would you describe Michelle in just basic, quick words? And I got two words, which were diligent And I think the diligence piece is really interesting because you're diligent in everything you do. Like, you know, if you put your mind to it, like you're going to make it happen, like one step at a time. So you're super diligent and you know, you as a wife, you as a mother, as a gym owner, as a, you know, a field hockey coach, you're diligent even in your relationships with people. And so I think that's so true. And then the other word the Lord used was humble. And
Oh, I don't get that a lot.
I know. Most people would say that ain't right, but what's interesting, because I'll be honest with you, I was like, oh God, explain that one there, Lord. You're gonna have to
Michelle Crawford, you got it?
open
Okay,
that
hold
one
on.
up. But it made so much sense because I have seen this from you, and he actually brought a passage of scripture to my heart to explain it, which I'm thankful, because I was like, need some explaining to do there.
Fair. That's fair.
Just a strong competitor, you know. But humble in this sense, Psalm 51, verses 16, but mostly verse 17. I'll read from verse 16. It says, "For you will not delight in sacrifice, or I would give it. You will not be pleased with the burnt offering. The sacrifices of God are a broken spirit, a broken and contrite heart. O God, you will not despise." And I think like that explains you, because there's like in that passage of scripture, you know, King David is basically pouring his heart out to God. And I've seen this from you, where there's an element of you that so will sit before the Lord and be like, I don't know, but I know you're worthy. And I think that makes so much sense. Like, God doesn't require these burnt offerings or these sacrifices. That's not what pleases him. That's not a pleasing aroma to God. It's a broken and contrite heart, which basically is saying it's a heart that is willing to, you know who I am, you know, submit themselves to me. And I think that's something that I've definitely seen from you, just even in the sense of like, you know, when you have maybe gone off on somebody, I've seen you come back and be like, oh my gosh, like I feel terrible.
Yeah.
And you've gone before the Lord and be like, okay, I need to act, you know, really walk this out in a manner that is glorifying to the Lord. And so it makes so much sense, like that diligent but yet humble nature towards the Lord. I just thought that was an incredible 2 words the Lord gave. So yeah.
Okay.
How do you feel about that?
I like that. I think that, I mean, I agree. I think that in certain circumstances, definitely before God, I feel very humbled.
Yeah.
And that psalm that you read makes a lot of sense.
But so most people experience you as this just fiery, ready to go. I'll get in your face type of person.
Yeah.
Would you say that's fair?
I think that's fair in like how I compete.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
I think that's where most people experience
But
you, is
that
how you
way.
compete. But that's like, really, actually, if you want to know who Michelle is, she's literally the softest, most
Yeah.
bleeding heart human being known to man.
Like to a fault, I
Oh,
think.
100%.
Sometimes. Yeah.
100%. We've had to work through that. Like, you can't do that,
Wow.
Michelle.
Yeah. I'm like this weird combination of like super competitive, but then have like this super bleeding heart. And I also have this, like I pop off really fast, like 0 to 60. Just talk to Casey. But I have this
I got a story
extreme
about that.
conscience too. So I'm like, God, I'm the worst combination of like, I'm so sorry. Like, and then like Catholic guilt all rolled up into one
boy, yeah,
one
that's part of
person.
it.
Yay.
Talking about popping off at Casey, there's many stories. I mean,
He's
like
such a good guy.
1,000
Love him.
stories I could possibly think about, but the one that I think I
don't
love
even know what
that
you're gonna
cracks me
say.
up the most is when you guys were, I think you were newly married. You guys have told me this story.
Okay.
And
Now, when we're newly married, you're in like 3rd grade, so.
I know I wasn't around.
I didn't
I
know
was
you,
not
yeah,
around
yeah.
at this time. We didn't know each other, but you had made him lunch.
Oh, this is a great story. Yeah.
And I probably get some details wrong, but you had made him lunch, and you can chime in
I'll
whenever
jump in
you
if you
want.
mess
But essentially, Casey went to lunch.
No, we weren't married yet.
Okay, you weren't
We were
married.
engaged.
Oh, that's even better.
And I was staying with his parents in Northern Virginia because we were in this like in between stage before we were going to get married. And anyways, and he's working in a job at an internet startup at the mall.
Wow.
And I'm like I'm in between. I'm like, we're training for the Olympics, and I had like a 2-week break. So I'm staying at his parents' house because I wanted to see him. So I have like nothing to do for 2 weeks. So I'm just like hanging out with his mom and dad. And he's going off to his mall job in his like pleated khakis. It's really, really awesome. This is 1999. or 2000. And so he was like, hey, I have to work from whatever 9 to 5, but I get a lunch break from 12 to 1. Will you make me lunch and take my mom's car and bring it to me at the mall, and we'll like eat together in the food court? I'm like, no problem.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Who do you go to lunch with?
TJ.
That's right.
Yes.
TJ. Oh my gosh, that's an old name.
So
Casey goes to lunch with this guy. He obviously forgot that you were bringing him lunch.
Forgot.
Well, Shell shows up and
at his little like mall kiosk with the lunch.
Yeah, and instead of just like, kind of swallowing it maybe, gosh, you forgot, it's okay.
Awkward.
She goes from 0 to 100, like throws the lunch in his face. Did
He
you
was
take
at a
your ring off?
restaurant.
Okay.
No, I didn't have a ring yet because we got engaged. Sans ring. Also a good story.
Oh, wow.
So I didn't have a ring.
Charmer.
Yeah, he just really. So I asked his like mall kiosk coworker, "Hey, giant dude, see him?" He's like, "Oh yeah, he's in O'Charlie's at like in the mall."
O'Charlie's,
I was like, "Oh, is he? Oh, great." So I like marched down there with my little like lunch sack that I made him, and he's sitting, and he's so loud and so giant. He's sitting in the booth with TJ, his good buddy, who I also knew, yucking it up, just having the time of his life, and I'm like prancing over there with my weird walk, like my weird angry walk.
Michelle has a walk. When you
like,
see the walk, it's like, oh no.
Oh man.
We need to figure this out ASAP.
And I just see him, and like the fact that he was like laughing and not
having
like,
a good time
in any way aware of like how disrespectful I felt that was. So I just had his like lunch sack, and I'm also, in fairness to me, in like major training mode. Like we're about to leave to go try and qualify for the Olympics. So I'm like
that justifies all of
high
Michelle.
level like intensity. And I just was so mad at him. I was like, "Are you kidding me?" And in the restaurant, I just hurl the lunch bag at his face, and he's like, and I walked out.
No, you just left.
I was like,
bye.
Stuck around.
Yeah.
That's a
So
common
how did he
theme.
recover from that? How did he did he?
See, the thing about me is this is a great quality of mine. I get so mad, but then I'm quick to forgive because I get it out. I'm like, you know what? I hit you with the lunch.
Yeah.
It's good. We're good now.
You're good.
Want to watch a movie? We're good. He always makes fun of me because he's like, you go like psycho, and then you're like, want to cuddle?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
Because you're over
It's
it.
I'm over it. I do not hold grudges.
Yeah.
I don't hold grudges.
That's a good quality.
I mean, you're really stretching for a good quality there, but I find it to be a great quality.
Yeah.
For sure.
I love that.
But it's a common denominator. You have intense fights.
Oh yeah. When we got
Intense.
married, we had to do like premarital counseling, like for the church we were in, and the guy was not ready for the two of us. We were also like very young, 22 and 21, and he's like, okay, so normally we have one person in the relationship that's like the lion and one that's the lamb. And I'm like, I'm gonna stop you right now. There's no lamb. And he's like, I agree. We got tiger and lion. And so he's like, you guys are gonna like, when you're together, watch out world. But when you're in a disagreement, y'all are not gonna have the kind of relationship that's just like, I never fight. And I was like, yeah, I know. I mean, we dated for a long time too. We knew that about each other.
Right.
So we can have we had some good battles, but
But you're quick to forgive.
But you're like,
quick to
everything's fine.
Quick.
What?
Casey's not as quick to forgive, but I am.
Oh.
He's more of like a more mellow, normal fighter. Yeah.
Normal fighter. Yeah, I love it.
But it works.
We're just celebrated 25 years.
I know. You guys have been together a long time.
It's the best thing that ever happened to me. So it works. Yeah.
I will admit, one of my favorite things, because I get to hear him talk to different crowds all the time, is when he talks about how you guys met and how he saw you like running.
My plan worked.
And it was like something about like you were just so fast. And he was like, I gotta get with
you gotta
her.
use what you got. Like, like you just gotta know.
It's just sweet hearing him talk. I mean, anything he says about you is just always really sweet. So
Not all the time. But
well, things I hear.
Yes.
Things I hear.
Casey and I have had conversations.
He's a great. Yeah, Dave and Casey are great for each other because they both have to deal with
I'm
me.
sure.
That happened to you? Yeah, me too. Like, what do I do? He's like, hey, he goes, I don't know yet. I'm like, great.
I haven't figured it out.
Thanks for your help, dude. 25 years for nothing.
Yeah.
So I love it. Well, Shell, question we always ask everybody is a life well lived. What does it look like for you? You look back at the end of the road, it's close. It's not close for you, though. You got a lot left.
Yeah.
But what does it look like for you to look back and say that was a life well lived for Michelle Crawford?
Oh, that's a good question. I would say for me now, obviously my family, like maintaining great relationships with my kids. Hopefully they will have kids, not immediately, but soon. That is the most important thing to me is my immediate family, Casey and Katie and Josie, and then, my sister and my brother. We have really tight relationships. We live on our little, family compound, so I'm very close with my nieces and nephews on both sides of the family.
Oh, that's so special.
So I would love to be, an old woman and have tight bonds and relationships with, my nephews, my nieces, their kids, their grandkids. It's just been a special thing being able to live next door to my sister, who is my definite, after Casey's best friend. My sister-in-law, Casey's sister, is a dear friend of mine. We fight for sure, but we really get along and really love each other. I'm a nice person.
But you forgive.
Yeah, but I forgive.
Yeah.
Just really being able to maintain those bonds. And I know that's hard because kids are going to go off and do and hopefully live these big lives. But being able to look back and say, that family bond is really tight. And then I would say, as I'm getting older and I've been really lucky to fall into a coaching position at the high school and start a club team. And this is going to be shocking based upon our conversation for the past hour. But I'm really kind of stepping into and leaning into as a coach, not making winning the game be the only thing of importance, and really trying to have lasting relationships with these kids and mentor them through their high school years. And I would love to, be someone that they could call and text as they grow up, as they handle things, and just being a mentor for them, and having a long lasting relationship with them. A relationship forged over, a love of sports and that skill set of trying to help them learn to play a sport and motivate them and stuff like that. But more importantly, knowing as I'm older and looking back that everybody's sports career ends at some point, but being able to maintain those good relationships, kind of like what we talked about in the beginning. Dave and I were teammates and played a kind of quasi-sport together, and that's past, and we don't do that anymore. But the bond that the relationship that forged for that relationship, to be able to do that with the kids I'm coaching and teaching,
How
would be
important
great.
for them
Yeah.
to get to have that in you.
Yeah.
I wish I had somebody like that when I was that age.
Yeah.
Makes a difference.
It does make a huge difference. One thing I want to do, something the Lord's leading me to do right now, is this actually the verse that comes right before the one I read, verse 15. It says, "O Lord, open my lips and my mouth will declare your praise." I think one thing that I've seen you step into, and you've done a great job of it, is being present and understanding, okay, what is my purpose in this individual's life? From the standpoint of, God, what do you want me to do here? What do you want me to say here? And I look at that verse and I look at it and I say, man, this is what I pray over you. I pray that these relationships, because, you are embarking on this club, you have all these relationships at the gym. My prayer to you is that you would follow this verse that says, "O Lord, open my lips and my mouth will declare your praise." And so, if you don't mind, I don't do this much, but you mind if I pray right now over that?
That'd be great.
All right, let me just do that real fast. Lord, God, we thank you for who you are. God, we thank you that it is because of you that we have life. And Lord, we thank you for Michelle and how you have uniquely designed her, and you've put a lot of fire in there, and you've put a lot of tenacity in there, and you've put a lot of grit and determination. But yet you've also created this incredibly soft heart towards you, God, and I thank you for that, Lord. And God, I thank you as you've continually brought her to where she's at, and Lord, just the place that she's at, the places, the people that she meets on a daily basis. Lord, I pray that this verse will become real for her, that Psalm 51, verse 15, "O Lord, open my lips." Lord, I pray you would just open her lips in a way that makes it easy for her to deliver your love, deliver your words, deliver your presence, Lord. And it says, "And my mouth will declare your praise." So, Lord, as I pray that as she steps into this, that, Lord, that you would create this incredible heart of worship that she already has, but that it would be visible to other people. Because, Lord, I've seen it. I know Casey's seen it. I know some people have seen this heart that is of worship towards you, Lord. I pray that it would be visible to other people in such a way that it would impact others, Lord, around her, Lord. God, we thank you for who you are. We thank you for just how much you love us, Lord. You loved us first. We praise you for that in Jesus' name. Amen. Well, Michelle, thank you so much for hopping on the deep end with us. We enjoyed the conversation.
Yeah.
I think we'll probably have another one sometime. Maybe her and Casey.
Yeah, I would love to have you and Casey together.
Then we get the real stories. Both sides.
What's the saying? Casey doesn't let the facts get in the way of a good story. So,
All right. Well, everybody, thank you for hopping on the deep end. See you next time. Thank you for listening to today's episode. If you have any questions, please email us at thedeependwithdaveandjen@gmail.com. We'll see you back soon for the next episode of The Deep End.